Hare Krishna, everyone, and welcome back once again to our ever ongoing series on the glories of our most beloved Sri Vrindavan Dham. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pastaja Deshatarane. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we are continuing with our mini-series on stimulation for ecstatic love, and this will be number 114, in which we will continue our discussion on the fourth quality of Krishna that distinguishes him from Lord Narayan, namely Rupa Madhuri, his extraordinary beauty. And this will be part 3 about Krishna's hair. So the Patanjali Mahabhasya, it's an ancient scripture, Sanskrit scripture, written by the sage Patanjali, describes different ways that Krishna and the cowherd men of Vrindavan would tie their hair. He lists the ways as follows. Jati, which means twisted hair. Kesha Chuda, which means long, knotted hair in the form of a bun that tilts to the side in one direction on one's head. And I was reading that in time this Kesha Chuda evolved into the shape of a crown called Jura or Juda, which actually is presently worn by the deities of Govinda, Gopinath, Madan Mohan, and Radharaman in Vrindavan, every Ekadasi. You can check it out. Then Shiki or Mundi, it's a tuft of hair worn on the crown of the head, and this hairstyle is worn by Krishna when he plays wrestling games with the gopis in Vrindavan, or when he goes for a sacred bath in the Jamuna 2 times. Then Kesha or Keshaki, a hairstyle of letting one's hair hang down loosely around one's shoulders. Now, in Vrindavan's oral tradition, it is said that when Krishna was in Braj 5,000 years ago, before leaving for Mathura, he never wore padukas or wooden shoes. He never wore stitched clothes, and he never cut his hair. The famous poet Surdas, one of our favorite poets, refers to this fact in one of his poems where Krishna is addressing his mother, specifically about his hair. He says, "Oh Maya, when will my braid grow longer? You said that by drinking milk it will make my braid grow longer. But nothing actually helps in growing my hair. But look at Dauji, my elder brother. He has a braid very big and very long, like a snake, while mine remains very small and thin." Surdas says, Yashoda embraced little Krishna and smiling said, "My dear son, may the goddess of hair give you nice, long, thick hair." My dear son, may the goddess of hair give you nice, long, thick hair. Yashoda Maya ki. So it's interesting that in ancient times, I was reading, in Vedic culture, the cutting of hair for all males was only prescribed on a few occasions, which were as follows. Bundhane Shamskara, shaving the head of a male child a few months after he is born. Keshanta Shamskara, shaving the head of a boy when he accepts the sacred thread in Gurukul. Samovartana Shamskara, cutting the hair short, not necessarily shaved clean, but cutting the hair short when the boy graduates from Gurukul and enters into household life. Actually, he's not a boy any longer, he's 25 years of age. Then Anteshti Shamskara, meaning shaving the head when one's parents have died. Now, if a boy or a man shaved his head at any other time, it was considered, let me remember, defaming, shameful, low class, and devoid of manliness. Of course, throughout Vedic history, this policy of growing one's hair long was not relevant in a number of spiritual traditions in India where men shave their heads. Like the followers of Shankaracharya, Lord Buddha, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and of course in our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition as well. Just yesterday I was reading in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, chapter 22, entitled Swami Invites the Hippies. And I'll quote here. One day Srila Prabhupada asked Steve to shave his long hair and beard. But Steve protested. Srila Prabhupada, why do you want me to shave my head? Krishna had long hair, Ram had long hair, Lord Chaitanya had long hair, and Christ had long hair. Why should I shave my head? And Prabhupada replied, because now you are following me. Pointing to a painting of Surdas, a Vaishnava, on the wall, Prabhupada smiled and said, you should shave your head like that. You should shave your head like that. Of course, we know in Vedic culture, ladies didn't shave their heads. There are some exceptions, of course. And one exception is the tradition of ladies shaving their heads as a sacrifice when visiting the temple of Balaji, Venkateshwara, in Tirupati in South India. It's a tradition that it continues even to the present day. I've seen that. But in general, ladies didn't shave their heads. And I was remembering one time a male disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, why don't the girls in our movement shave their heads? And Prabhupada smiled and he said, because we want them to look beautiful for Krishna. Prabhupada said, because we want them to look beautiful for Krishna. Now, while researching for this lecture, I came across a poem by the poet Hari Ram Vyas, where he gives a very interesting description of Krishna's hair. Really interesting. He writes, the tangles of Vigyan, science, are less than the tangles of Ganana, math. The tangles of Ganana are less than the tangles of illusion. The tangles of illusion are less than the tangles of ignorance. The tangles of ignorance are less than the tangles of karma. The tangles of karma are less than the tangles of Maya. The tangles of Maya are less than the tangles of the higher abodes. The tangles of the higher abodes are less than the tangles of Shwarga, the topmost heavenly planets. The tangles of heavens are less than the tangles of the Gandharva's music. The tangles of the Gandharva's music are less than the tangles of Kamadev's dances. The tangles of Kamadev's dances are less than the tangles of Braja's kunjas. Braja's kunjas. The tangles of Braja's kunjas are less than the tangles of the hearts of the Braja gopis. But the tangles of the hearts of the Braja gopis are less than the tangles of Krishna's tangled hair. Less than the tangles of Krishna's tangled hair. The poet Hari Ram Vyas says, may my mind never get disentangled from the tangles of Krishna's hair. What a conclusion. May my mind never get disentangled from the tangles of Krishna's hair. Hare Krishna. So let us conclude today with another poem by Hari Ram Vyas describing Krishna's hair as follows. It's very beautiful. O my Saki, look at the beautiful hair of Radha Ballabha. His untied loose hair is the life of Gokula. The coiled curls of his hair are the clutches imprisoning our hearts. The shine of his black hair makes his complexion less dark. The fragrance of his hair is the life source of jasmine flowers blooming at night. The poet Hari Ram Vyas says, when will that day come when I will see the hair of Krishna flowing in the air of Vrindavan? When will that day come when I will see the hair of Krishna flowing in the air of Vrindavan? Thank you to that poet. Hare Krishna. So that's it for today, Prabhus. Actually, we have enough information to have one more class about Krishna's hair. 4 classes just on Krishna's hair. So thank you. See you next Friday. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Radha Shyamu Sundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radharani. Radharani ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Gauri Thai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yajna ki, Nitai Gaur Vimanandi, Jai Jai Sri Sri Radhe Sharm. Glories to Shri